Hello, and this is Matt once again, and we are refocusing Barbados. We have been off the air for a little while, and that is due to all of us here at Refocusing Barbados being very busy, and we have our respective jobs and duties. And we usually take time out every week to record these programs. So we want to apologize for not being with you and talking to you for such an extended period of time. I hope you would have had a wonderful Christmas holiday. And I hope it was very meaningful to all of you. I hope that you were able to go to church or spend time with your families and really have a good time together. Considering what is happening in the country, it is important that we get together as friends and families and really spend quality time to talk and to enjoy ourselves. Well, since the last time we met, there's so much that has occurred in our country. But I want to look at a few of these things today. These things I consider to be very important. And it seems as though Barbadians have become accustomed to downgrades to the extent when they hear of another downgrade, it doesn't evoke any negative emotion. And in fact, it seems to be so commonplace that Barbadians seem to expect downgrades to occur. But the funny thing about it is, the average man on the street, I don't think he understands the gravity of a downgrade and the severity of these downgrades. Well, it doesn't seem to mean anything to him. For one, our society is not conditioned in that way. We haven't been taught in schools about credit ratings. We haven't been taught in schools about our government and the Constitution. And we haven't been taught about what a downgrade means. And even at this time, I don't think it's being discussed in schools, and if it is, I'd be very glad. So the average man in the street doesn't get involved in that technical stuff, things like GDP and downgrades. And the late Arabara, he was extremely good at explaining these things. He used to speak directly to the Barbadian, and he used to talk to us in ways that we could understand. He break it down for us. And if there is a fault in our modern day politicians, is that they become very technical when they speak about GDP and they speak about the economy, they speak about downgrades. And it goes over the head of the average man. What the average man in the street needs to understand and to know is this: how does a downgrade affect him? How does GDP relate to his everyday life? What difference do these things make to the average man in the street? If the politician, the economist, cannot explain these things in a less than technical way to the average man in the street, then it doesn't even make sense speaking at all about it. And this is one of the problems that I have with the whole discussion on downgrades and economic matters. They go over the head of the average person. They seem not to be able to relate very well to the average man on the street about what a downgrade is. For the business person, yes, he has to take a downgrade seriously. For people who work in banks, right, accountants, economists, they understand this and they take this thing seriously. They know the full impact of these things. But now it is time to engage the average man in the street in these discussions. We need to have people who can explain these things carefully and very, very, very thoughtfully so that the average man will understand what is happening to him. Because government doesn't care about explaining the impact of a downgrade. That is the truth. Government isn't interested in that. In fact, you see government's response to a downgrade is like, no, it's denial. Denial. They said to my governor, oh, that downgrade, oh, that's too severe. Standard and Poor's is being very severe on us. It's unfair. If you got a bill to pay and you don't pay it, like the power cuts off your light, waterworks cut off your water, or the telephone company cut off your telephone, who's to blame but you? You got a duty to your country. Don't blame people. Don't deny that you have been inept. The other thing that I found rather amusing at Christmas was this whole thought of the natural gas problems which affected the West Coast seriously. When someone told me about it, I was kind of surprised. I said, well, really? I said, yes, the West Coast had serious problems. And then I read the newspaper to see and found out the severity of the problem. This seems like a maintenance problem to me. Am I surprised? No. Because this is symptomatic of the government's performance. This is very symptomatic of the government's performance. But if the government's performance is poor, what else can we expect of all other government institutions? If the management is poor, what can you expect? If the management is poor, you are going to get a problem of maintenance failure. And you can get systems failure. I want to ask a question. My good friend, I ain't calling him, threw this out at me today. Are we sure there's air in the line? Or there's a lack of resources to maintain the system? If your house is leaking, right, and you got money, you can go and try and fix that leak. But if you don't got money, you can get wet. That's all I can say on that. The other amusing thing that I heard recently is this rumor that there's going to be a cabinet reshuffle. Boy, let me tell you something. You see that there? That's the biggest set of nonsense I've ever heard. You got a cabinet full of people who are non-performing, who are mediocre, as Wanafa would say, poor raking. And you can reshuffle them? Wherever you put them, they're going to be the same way? Because they know no better? And what makes it worse, they don't have a good manager. In fact, they don't have a manager at all. Everybody operating like loose cannons. So I wonder what this cabinet reshuffle is all about. What is the desired effect? Is the desired effect to demonstrate to Barbadians that there are ways that we can instill and promote mediocrity that we have never seen before? Is the whole idea of the rumored cabinet shuffle to demonstrate to Barbadians that this is a government unlike any other? It seems so to me. But I tell you the truth, right? I would like to be a fly on the wall during those cabinet meetings. I would like to have that ability to be a fly on the wall. They ain't gonna kill me because they ain't gonna see me. You understand? Because this government don't see anything. You know why I would like to be a fly on the wall? I want to hear the quality of discussion during those cabinet meetings. I would really love to know what really goes on in cabinet. The final thing I want to talk about is this whole discussion some time ago of government intention to borrow $212 million from some Latin American entity, and it has to pay $25 million to join so that they are enabled to borrow. I don't think it's a bad idea. As my friend Scratch used to say, not a bad idea. You get Jackie Jacket. But the purpose, the reason for borrowing, I have a problem with that. Let me say this, right? If they have borrowed that money around July, August, and they're taking that $212 million and pay businesses their VAT returns, pay Barbadians their income tax returns, that immediately becomes a stimulus. They would have injected that $212 million into the economy, and that money would start to circulate right away. The government would start collecting taxes. Christmas is around the corner, so businesses will be able to purchase more stock, employ a few more people. People will have more disposable income in their pockets, and they will spend more. You see, when the goods come through the port, government can make its money right there in VAT. When they're sold, government is going to make money on VAT. So government has the ability to invest that $212 million into the economy, put it into the economy, and see the returns through taxation. You'll have more people working, right? The NIS will pull in some more dollars. Income tax will get some more dollars. The VAT department will get some more dollars. And the economy will get a very, 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 very simple kickstart. But you see, the problem is the thinking. The thinking within this government is so poor that something so simple as this they cannot see. We are in a serious bind. Do we understand what will happen to us if we get another downgrade? It can be very, very, very serious. It's going to be very, very, very serious. I don't want to be a prophet of gloom and doom, but everything points to the IMF at our door. There's nothing that is happening within the country, within government, that gives us the assurance that the government has control over this economy. There's nothing that tells me also that government understands how the economy works. They're out in fires, hit and miss. They're throwing things at the wall, hoping that it sticks. Hoping that they stick. This is a very, very, very serious time. There's a lot that we as Barbadians have to really consider coming into the new year 2015. If 2014 was so rough and there is not much hope of a turnaround, can you imagine what 2015 would be like for a lot of Barbadians who are struggling, unable to pay their bills, unable to feed their children, unable to send their children? I've said this before and I'll say it again. This government is a killer of dreams. Our young people have stopped dreaming. They had dreams of improving their lives by going to university. They can't dream anymore. And parents who would have hoped that their children would have gone to university, come out of university, and be able to climb the social ladder, and that their families can also climb with them, that hope is not there anymore. And Barbara knew that the way out for this country was through education. And he did a marvelous job of making sure that Bajans were exposed to education. Now there comes a government like that Joseph, that Pharaoh that did not know Joseph, and practically enslaved the children of Israel. So we have a government that doesn't understand its role in society, doesn't understand the role of education, but has sought to destroy through its ignorance and its mediocrity the lives of thousands of Barbadians. I hope that this doesn't continue for much longer. I hope that we can wake up one day and decide, look, we've had enough and let's put a stop to this. I'm going to wish all Barbadians a blessed and prosperous 2015 and all of God's richest blessings upon us. We need it. Thank you very much.